We previously saw how to construct a template for a mixed data itemization. And we saw that because there can be different data types in the itemization, we end up having to put a guard. For example, in the second case of the cond, we have the number question mark guard to make sure that we don't accidentally hand the string complete to this less than or equal to right here. The number question mark is making sure that this number isn't going to be the string complete. And we saw that in the last case we can just put else because it's the last case. You can always put else for the last case of an itemization. But it turns out that you can simplify this template a little bit more. And here's why. Notice that there's only one case here of natural numbers. The middle case is natural numbers between 1 and 10. So because it's between 1 and 10 that we put the two less than or equal to calls. That gets us between 1 and 10. And it's because we want to be sure not to hand the string complete to that we put the number question mark guard. But because there's only one subcategory of numbers, it actually turns out that all we need is the number question mark guard. We can get rid of the and these two calls to less than or equal to and just simplify this second question in the template to number question mark. Because think about it, what this says is it says, well, if it's false, then that's the first case. And if it's a number, then that's the second case because there's only one subcategory that is numbers. So I don't need to bother to ask whether it's between 1 and 10. It's the only subcategory of numbers. And then there's only one case left for else. Here's one more example of the kinds of simplification we can do for the templates in mixed data itemization. I've got a data definition here which is supposed to represent the condition of a traffic light which is either disabled or it's red, yellow, green. And so in this data definition we've used a mixed data itemization. False means disabled, and the strings red, yellow, green mean the color of the light. So this is kind of, an itemization that includes an enumeration in some sense, which is fine. That fits the definition of an itemization. Let's construct the template. So let's see. It's going to start out as one of 4 cases. And so that's a 4-case cond. The first case is atomic distinct false. So that the question is now false question mark TL and ... And the next 3 cases are all atomic distincts and now they're strings. And I'll just fill them all in quickly. Now, because this is mixed data itemization, then the rule is that we should guard these string equals. We have to say something like and string question mark TL string equal TL to red. That would be the question, and ... would be the answer. And we would do that 3 times. So now that's good. We've guarded these string equals. But we could do something simpler here. Once we get to this red, there are no more data types left other than string. Everything from here on out is going to be some form of string. And so there's an additional rule, which is if all the remaining cases are the same data type, then you don't need the guards. That guard, and that guard, none of those have to be there. So we can take them back out. Like this, we'll take them out. And we end up with this simpler template. Now let's be clear. These simplifications of the template, they're not essential. The template we had 30 seconds ago was perfectly good. It worked. It would never have any problems. But this one is a little bit simpler. So there's 2 rules for simplifying mixed data itemization templates. The first rule is that if a given subclass is the last subclass of its type, which is what happened here, this natural 110 is the last subclass that's a natural, we don't need the 110 part of the test. We can just have the guard. So we reduce that question to number question mark. The second rule is that if all the remaining cases are of a given type, then we can eliminate all the guards. So this just became the string equal, the string equal, the string equal. We didn't have the and string question mark. Again, what's essential in mixed data itemizations is that you put the guards in to start with. Without the guards, the template isn't going to work properly. These two rules for further simplification of the templates are good, but they're not absolutely essential. They'll get you code which is also correct, a little bit simpler. But the main thing you want is the code that's correct in the first place.